I love it. Welcome back to the show. Right now we're going to talk about the compassion of the heart. And we have a beautiful woman here. Her name is Joyce Reiner and her daughter Brittany. You two, welcome to Arizona Daily Mix. Nice to have you on the show. We're talking about foster parenting and adoption. And Joyce, this is something that's close to your heart that you've been doing for a long time. So I want you to share with us a little bit about why you do this and the importance of it right here in our own community.
Well, my husband and I have been doing it for 30 years.
Yeah, it's a long time.
And we started because when my oldest daughter was born, a mom in the hospital left her baby there. And I just wanted to make a difference and try to help and make sure that other babies weren't left behind like that. So we take newborns right from the hospital.
That's so nice. It's a big heart that you have, and a lot of people appreciate the things that you're doing, especially the individuals like Brittany, who came into your life. And share a little bit about that and how the loving relationship came to be what it is today.
Well, Brittany was about 10 weeks old when she came to live with us. And back then, the system moved a little bit slower, so she was almost 7 before her adoption was final.
Nice.
But of course, I fell in love with her.
Look at that face, how couldn't you?
First time I saw her, the face and the dimples, and so she's ours now.
There are some myths out there, though, when it comes to fostering a child or adopting a child, especially if the child has like special needs or maybe health issues. So do you want to dispel some of those myths and tell us about that?
Well, if you have your own child, you never know exactly what you're going to get anyway.
Right.
So at least when you adopt a child, you do know a lot more. You know exactly what the problems would be, what their medical history is, a lot of their family history, and you just work through it just like you would if you gave birth to a child.
Yeah, because it is your child.
It is your child, of course. Exactly.
And Brittany's your child, and Brittany, I want you to let us know what your experience has been like, because I'm sure there's children in the foster care system waiting to be, you know, taken in by a family, waiting to be adopted.
Yes.
There's so many, and there's people out there with a loving heart, but unfortunately sometimes things don't work out. So tell us what your experience has been, and why would you encourage someone to just hang on and know that there are people like Joyce out there waiting for them?
So obviously, as she said, I was in the system for almost 7 years. So luckily, it was most of that time was the same home. So it was the best of the worst situation, I guess.
Yeah.
But then when I was 4, I was actually sent back to live with my biological father. So that was pretty traumatic and frustrating, not just for me. I didn't understand as a 4-year-old, you know, what all that meant. It's like, this is my family. Why would they let me go? And who's this guy? And I'm sure, as we've talked about before, it was traumatic for them as well. And that's one of the things I think people get frustrated about in fostering, or when they're thinking about it, is that you don't have a guarantee. Like, you could care for the child and they could be reunified with their parents. So their biological parents. So for us, it worked out.
Was an emotional roller coaster for you.
It was.
Yes.
That is so unsettling. But then again, you know, the tide turns and look what happens. Years go by, things open up, and at 7, you're with Joyce.
Right. So when I was removed again, I was luckily placed back with them. So the system did work for that. And then, but that stuck with me my whole life, that it took so long.
Right.
Because to me, that was always my family.
Yeah.
So finally, it was the last name was a big deal. Because I had a different last name, and you go to school and you're like, no, but this is, you know, and you just, it's hard to understand as a child. But that stuck with me, and then I went to law school, and now I actually work for the state representing the Department of Child Safety in the dependency cases for abuse and neglect for children that are in care.
And because you do have this personal connection, how has that helped you to do the job that you do and really open the door and insight for other people to see that it's going to be okay?
It definitely is a drive. I work a lot of hours because of that, because that's always in the back of my mind, and that motivation is that I want to do everything I can to control a case so that that doesn't happen. Either they do get reunified in an appropriate time frame, or if we have to take the steps to proceed toward adoption, that happens, so that no kid has to languish and care for that long.
I love it. You two ladies are fantastic. Joyce, thank you for being here, as well as Brittany. We love this love, so if you are looking to adopt or foster a child, the outcome can be great. And look at these beautiful smiles on these ladies' faces, and you know they're going to do better things to help out other people down the road to open up that door. Thank you again for being here on Arizona Daily Mix. We'll have more when we get back. Yeah.